He can barely stand up straight while tied down. He still finds it hard to believe that the great commander of the army came all the way to see him in person. The great commander literally ended up at her house, just for her. And those incompetent fools are paying dearly for their mistake. While fools rot in dungeons, the Kai show gratitude to Commander Wei, yet he still wonders about the true motive behind this mysterious and sudden visit. Relax, old man, it's recording. Those superhuman performances during the test have already become legendary. The army was at the door the moment ours went offline. They've already recruited his friends into the army, and now they're trying to hook him too. The old wolf blows his cigarette smoke into the air as if hiding a dark secret. This is the kind of profession that's banned in 89 countries. The woman beside him wonders if he understands how this new class will turn the whole world upside down. There are many jobs out there, but changing classes every 20 levels keeps fundamentally shifting all the balances and stats. Some become gods, while others turn into total trash. And the army is always after that useful, high combat power. They're after those with high combat power. Kai's new profession officially holds great potential. The woman glides toward him and slams her tempting military offer on the table. They're eager to see if you'll climb the career ladder quickly in combat boots. They claim they aren't pushing, but they've already dug into Kai's entire lineage and his family's poverty-stricken background. If he accepts, the military will cover all his brother's medical bills and guarantee his family's safety. It's literally an offer like life insurance. The offer is so sweet that Kai is lost in deep thought. They tell me to think it over before they go, say I have until tomorrow, and just shut the door and leave. All he has to do is call the woman. Watching them from behind, Kai drops the bombshell and simply brushes off this massive army offer. The duo is literally in shock after this unexpected answer. Kai knows how valuable the offer is, but this warrior spirit has different plans for his new profession. You have a brand new trump card. It harshly reminds them how the army swooped in like vultures when that famous drunkard job came up. At first, they praised that drunkard to the skies, but the second they realized he was useless, they tossed him aside like a dirty rag. Now that man is crawling in misery. And Kai proves he isn't that naive or careless. He intends to get off that troublesome family's radar. Instead of living in need of someone else's protection, they've long since gotten used to holding their own strings. Taking shelter in someone else's shadow is not for him. If it's about the woman, that's not the issue. He's literally clout chasing, acting like humanity needs help. His profession could save the world, but Kai has no such noble hero fantasies. He's only concerned with getting his small family completely out of this dangerous swamp. Even though the woman keeps pleading, the old man realizes the gravity of the situation. He's also aware that he can't just change years of misery and old habits with a few sweet words. Your brother's time is also running out. Anyway, just fighting for nothing doesn't cut it in this broken world. The old man makes it exciting and sparks a bet. For 1 month, he promises to personally protect Kai from all kinds of trouble and danger. But if he can't raise the money for his brother's surgery in a month, things will change. If Kai fails, he'll have to become property of the military. The army will pay up, but Kai will sell them his soul. Our guy falls silent for a moment, appearing to weigh the offer, as a sly smile creeps across his face. He accepts the bet, risking becoming a slave if he loses. Time is slipping away like sand in an hourglass. It's time to act now. He has to return to the Ghost Star to grind for money. After leaving a brief farewell message for his sister, he finally returns to this sinister world, his old hell. He can't survive in that ghetto anymore. He needs to move to keep his family safe, but the road ahead is no bed of roses. Finally, at the Ghost Star. Back again in fancy new clothes and with a fresh record in his pocket. He dreams of getting rich by hunting monsters, but first, he needs to knock on a guild's door and officially register. It's not just a rule for newbies to party up so they don't become monster bait. It's literally a matter of survival. A guild is basically a team effort, and it's essential for the growth of newcomers. Kai is waiting with great excitement to see which guild he'll land in. As soon as the woman at the registration desk hears your name, she scowls and tells you to your face that you can't even set foot inside any guild right now. He's been blacklisted everywhere for messing with the Huang family. It looks like he'll have to survive alone in this den of wolves now. The safe zone is still full of guildless stragglers. and Kai is brooding over whether his adventure will end this absurdly before it even begins. Right then, someone shows up and asks if he knows where the creatures are. Turns out this poor girl was reading fortunes and guiding people. It's none other than level 29 Huyan, who shows the best hunting grounds just beneath the surface. But Kai looks at him as if to say, "Give me a break." He turns around and says, "I don't deal with superstitions like that." But the girl is so persistent that Kay even offers to read her fortune for free. When he hears it's free, he decides maybe it's time to be a bit superstitious and gives the girl the green light right away. The girl sees it as a test and stays focused. Then, wouldn't you know it, the sign in his hand suddenly starts glowing intensely with a golden light? Whispering her magic words and reading his fortune, she bluntly tells Kai that he's right in the middle of a massive crisis. He must take urgent action to get out of this mess. He suggests heading to the mysterious Valley of the Kings immediately, as he's being watched even in the safe zone. He shouldn't become prey for those chasing him. The Ash Plains might be the first stop for rookies, but a bloody assassin could be waiting there for them. Victory Hill is basically a graveyard for anyone under level 15. If Kai goes there, he could end up pushing up daisies. He doesn't even know. Valley of Kings is for level 10 and up, so our guy will clear this place somehow. And there shouldn't be any treacherous traps or anything waiting for him there. If she has to handle everything on her own, then so be it. As he walked, he felt he owed the mysterious fortune teller a debt of gratitude for her advice. But the woman just can't understand why he's going alone. Because his own prophecy said he definitely had to go with a group. Going alone is practically suicide. Trying not to think about it, he prays that he returns safely and doesn't give him a bad rating in the system. He's already set foot in the Valley of the Kings. Once there, he moves forward, wondering if those famous monsters are truly as tough as they say. A piercing wild roar is heard, and he notices the rustling in the leaves. This eerie sound came from a massive mouth filled with sharp teeth. That massive gorilla is hitting the people in front of him as if they were insects. The poor souls try to resist his wrath. It's a monster of a full 11 levels. A giant black gorilla and level 10 players who think they can beat him. All they need to do is try a little harder to survive. This bloody struggle between them continues in all its intensity. Kay, meanwhile, lurks in a corner not too far away, watching everything unfold. Both players and monsters are quite strong. And he wonders if he'll stay in one piece if he comes face to face with someone. While lost in thought, a sharp and strange scent hits your nose. A few gorillas have already cornered him. He jumps and runs away immediately. This doesn't look like a coincidence. The system on his wrist warns him of the approaching absolute danger. Even the weakest of these hungry gorillas surrounding you is exactly level 12. Meanwhile, the other scouting party was struggling to take down a single level 11 gorilla. Luckily, they made it without any casualties. One of them is even thinking about telling this heroic story. The captain gives the nod, but right behind them, the real bloody action is just beginning. They're all turning around to see what's happening. They finally realize with amazement that a massive troop of gorillas is chasing a single, helpless explorer. Kay must have accidentally entered their sacred territory. Seeing the view, the group wonders if they should do something for that poor soul. But the captain sternly reminds them that no matter how things go, if they try to interfere, they could end up in a mass grave. Their best bet is to get out of there as fast as they can. As they watch, the first level 12 gorilla is demolished in seconds. These sharp blades are really perfect for Kay. With just 5 quick strikes, he landed a mind-blowing critical hit. They watch with mouths agape, in disbelief and horror, as the boy effortlessly packs up a gorilla far stronger than any he's defeated before. Kay skillfully dodges the remaining gorillas but is sure he can take them down. Right after, he prepares to send another one to the grave. His devastating attack falls upon the monsters like a nightmare. As another gorilla fades into history, only one remains in the square. With a single blow, he landed that famous critical hit again. Seeing another gorilla wasted like that, the others are absolutely speechless with shock. Now Kain has to settle the score with the last one. Seeing that he is the strongest, the captain of the other team isn't very hopeful. He doesn't think he'll be easily defeated. Kay has only 3 daggers left, and his physical endurance has finally reached its absolute limit. He has to believe his crit chance will increase before the monster catches and tears him apart. Then he gathers all his strength and takes a position to attack him. As he throws the 3 daggers, he's gambling everything on taking him down. Sharp blades soar through the air, dealing death toward the roaring giant gorilla. The gorilla screams in pain as the knives sink into its flesh. K celebrates this accurate attack. With those last 3 knives, he actually landed the critical hit. The gorilla's massive body falls lifeless to the ground. Achieving this was nearly impossible, even for a much larger group than them. And this kid did everything on his own without any help. Still, K never expected the hunt to be this challenging. With 3 bodyguards, he's more confident that he can handle things on his own. Continue the dangerous journey to keep up the hunt. Seeing him leave, the captain of the other team feels a deep inner regret and sadness for not having introduced himself before. He keeps complaining and thinks a friend is stopping him. But the truth is, he couldn't even lift a finger out of fear. A group of people has gathered on the Great Plains. No one expected to see so many people gathered there. The Huang family's famous royal squad is there in full force. Since they're all level 20, they're much stronger than the rookies and very dangerous. They're waiting for young Kai'nin to appear. To avenge the Huang family, they pressure a woman, asking where she last saw him. Huang Alice was humiliated because of a piece of trash like K. The woman says in a trembling voice that the child went towards the Valley of the Kings. They could find him there. They throw her to the ground and threaten that if she's lying, they'll return to make her pay in blood. This is the best one group for up to level 20. K is in big trouble, but she knows that fortune-tellers never tell the truth to rude people. He gave them false prophecies on purpose. On this valley visit, each of them will embrace their tragic end and inevitable death one by one. In the midst of all this nonsense, after a day's hunt, K has already reached level 6. There are some interesting rumors going around that a gorilla's carcass is worth a fortune because it's so hard to come by. As long as it stays like this, your brother's expenses won't be a problem. It looks like your brother's medical bills won't be a problem anymore. While he's drifting off, someone politely asks if he wants to add a new vibe. A considerable number of hunters have gathered there. Total of 3 teams staying together. If he joins them, he'll get a share of the loot from the gorillas. With that in mind, they want to know if he'll join this profitable partnership and how useful of a hunter he really is. That guy's mumbling to them that RK is just a lone wolf, too poor to even put a hunting team together. Still, the young guy shamelessly insists, saying they just need one more victim. The Valley of the Kings is full of hills, and there's a strange-looking group gathered right at the peak. They immediately show the guy that ultra-cool elite treasure chest they've been eyeing down there. Since elite gorillas are insanely strong, they'll use our guy to distract one of them. Our poor kid is basically being used as live bait for one of the gorillas, just to buy some time while the other 3 teams handle the rest. Supposedly, our guy over there will get his full cut of the reward when he returns. That elite chest drops much better loot than what you get from monsters. Kai'nin urgently needs one of those items, and these clever types want him to take on a giant all by himself. I mean, it's pretty obvious they weren't exactly expecting to see him alive. Once he got involved, he couldn't back out and decided to join them. So they launched the attack together. Everyone has memorized their role as the traitor in the plan. Gorillas immediately notice hunters approaching. And their leader announces right then and there that the bloody business has officially begun. Kai'nin needs to distract one of them. Right there, ready to take on that dangerous part of the plan. The kid lands a solid blow on the first gorilla. That way, he draws the creature's attention and lures it away from the others. Their leader is quite pleased that Kai'nin actually made this sacrifice. Soon there'll be one less person to split the prize, and I bet the others will tear each other apart for the loot. They have to fight to the death to get those items. The monkey's attacks are brutal. K is well aware that playing so cautiously is extremely risky. This elite gorilla is many times stronger than normal ones. An ordinary traveler would have been spellbound by now, but our guy is definitely no common fellow. With that, he flings his daggers toward that filthy beast. They all hit the creature with precision, leaving the monster stunned there for a few seconds. Finally, the creature falls lifeless to the ground. Even a level 15 elite gorilla can't handle Kai's insane critical damage. Now it's time to use those jackhauls to get the treasure chest. Our guys are putting in a lot of effort out there. But they don't seem to stand much of a chance against those huge elite gorillas. And their leader's busting his ass to keep the team on strategy. And Kay is just watching from the sidelines. While they're fighting tooth and nail outside, ours is slipping into the cave. Just a little walk will be enough for the kid. It's only a matter of time before he finds that shiny thing he's looking for. Indeed, a treasure chest sits there, and entering the cave was much easier for the boy than he thought. It only took taking out one elite gorilla to get there. Just as you're about to touch the chest, a terrifying roar suddenly echoes through the cave, and a disgusting drip of drool lands on your shoulder. Turns out there was another gorilla waiting for the chest inside. He jumps down in a rage and almost crushes Kay. This is a massive level 20 elite gorilla. It looks like the others weren't even aware of its existence. Unlike the others, this guy is actually dangerous. This surprise monster is even blocking the cave's only exit with its massive body. There's no other way out. Both of them have to trample each other now. Their daggers hit the beast, but they can't even pierce its tough hide. Hitting it in the eyes doesn't even faze the creature. The creature has a 23-point defense, unfortunately. And Kane's current attack power isn't enough to overcome this high stat. With 9 points of dagger piercing, their attacks are officially trash. While he thinks, the giant gorilla prepares to attack. Kay takes the hit, and his poor body slams right into the cave rocks with a thud. The kid's been beaten up and is just trying to process what happened. The gap between them is truly massive, but he has absolutely no intention of dying in this filthy place. Because dying in this dimension would prevent him from entering there for an entire month. If this happens, he'll inevitably lose his bet with the army commander. And this will lead him to remain completely loyal to the military. This means being completely dependent on the military. The boy is slowly starting to lose consciousness. A voice in his mind mumbles for him to wake up. This person is running. She's shaken in someone's arms before she knows what's happening. The one carrying her is none other than her own brother. His brother is praying like crazy that he doesn't fall asleep and stays awake. In that moment, he's doing everything he can to save his little brother among the city ruins. 10 years ago, he's desperately trying to rescue the child from that city, which turned into a hellish battlefield. Remembering this, he has absolutely no right to give up like this. When it was all over, her brother had done everything possible to save her and his sister. Grabbing one of his daggers, he's showing he won't give up just yet. That strange energy radiating from them is pouring through your whole body. RK will never stop fighting. The giant gorilla has already devoured him. As soon as he finishes swallowing, a nasty and satisfied look appears on his face. But it won't be long before the creature tastes the worst pain it has ever felt in its life. His head blows up, shattering into thousands of tiny pieces. Now his lifeless body collapses to the ground. Kay managed to defeat him by chance. Turns out the defenses inside its mouth aren't as strong as the ones outside. It was like piercing through thick hide to land that killing blow, just like with the Wolf King. Now the elite chest is finally accessible. But despite everything, the guy is absolutely exhausted over there. This item belongs entirely to him now. After nearly a full hour, those outside finally managed to finish off the elite gorillas. These clever guys are celebrating because they took a kid away, and he's probably already dead by now. And so, there was one less person to share the loot with. They finally dive into the cave to get the treasure chest. But the scene they see is not quite what they expected. Unfortunately, there's nothing left in there for them to collect anymore. The leader started to freak out because that elite chest he hoped to find in the cave had completely vanished. One guy confessed he saw the kid go inside but didn't say anything at first because he thought he was losing his mind. He already thought the kid couldn't make it out alive. But now the crew is whining to the captain because they've been working for days for nothing. Some haven't been paid, some have lost their patience, but the only thing on the captain's mind is how badly they got played by the kid. On the other side of the valley, Kai is taking it easy, resting and thinking he finally got rid of those suckers. He glances at the system, and his eyes start to gleam with greed when he sees the unopened chest. The chest is packed with precious metals and equipment. This is a fortune far greater than monster carcasses. He'll surely make a fortune with this loot, but a strange object inside suddenly catches his eye. He's putting those gloves on his hands. The fire emblems look cool, but he hasn't figured out what they're for yet. It's unclear if it's for offense or defense, but the moment he puts it on, he feels a strange power and lightness in his body. Maybe his speed and strength have peaked. Testing the new feel, she hovers the daggers in midair. Daggers ignite in midair as soon as they're thrown. Clearly, the gloves literally turn objects into torches. There are many kinds of flames in this world, and some are so terrifying they can turn an enemy to ash in seconds. Ordinary flames are useless in battle, so they're only good for cooking. Did KADER turn into a chef? While he is lost in thought, a wild roar that shakes the earth and sky rises from the depths of the forest. A giant fist slams into the ground. These are 4 elite elemental gorillas, and they look pretty hungry. Did he accidentally throw a dagger at someone's head? One of them is bad enough, but 4 is a suicide mission. His only chance is to shove those daggers right down these brutes' throats, but these gorillas aren't exactly stupid. The gorilla gets clever and seals its mouth shut. He has no intention of letting the daggers penetrate and tear his internal organs apart. The system hits you with the brutal truth. The defense held strong, and the damage dealt remained a big fat 0. Things aren't looking good for K. If even gorillas have learned how to defend, this world is truly falling apart. Ours is making a run for it already. Like this, it's an impossible life or death struggle against 4 giants. Maybe he's reached the end, but right then, one of the gorilla's health bars starts melting away strangely. As the gorilla dies in the flames, the others are slowly catching this fiery disease. Even if K doesn't understand how the fire spreads, the monster's health drops faster and faster as time goes by. One has already turned into a living torch, taking 2,000 damage in one go and writhing in agony. The fire is spreading with uncontrollable ferocity. The remaining gorillas watch helplessly as their friends burn to ashes. Watching this doomsday scenario, K notices a tiny spark drifting toward the other gorilla. The moment a spark hits the gorilla's tool, it all happens in seconds and a terrifying fire breaks out. Now 3 gorillas are burning like grilled meat, but K still hasn't figured out the source of this power. When the flames suddenly die out, only the charred and smoking corpses of those horrific monsters remain. Turns out that simple-looking damage jumped to 2,000 points in seconds, burning the monsters from within. The gloves multiply damage by 200 times, spreading it among them like a plague. Normal fire won't do much, but for a creature with no resistance, these gloves are a total executioner. Dealing 2,000 damage per second means entire armies can be wiped out with a single spark. Now he no longer has to whine about not being able to get past the defense. She has the power to burn everything down now. That night, the valley's residents faced the most terrible and painful experience in their history. Even as the flames lit up the sky, the gorilla's fate was sealed that night with a pitch-black end. No one had ever burned them so easily and brutally before, as if they were just pieces of dry grass. While monsters struggled to escape this hell, K walked through the valley like a king, without a trace of fear. He swept the whole 10-mile area, leaving not a single scrap for other hunters to find. At dawn, the valley was covered in ash. Having hunted dozens of gorillas, K had already reached level 7. With these gloves, no creature below level 20 can survive his area damage. With those 10 crates and a mountain of loot, K's about to be swimming in cash. He felt a slight sense of loneliness while looking at the sky. Even if he missed his old friends, he was far away from them now. The army's likely at ease, but a friend of ours in the Valley of Kings was fuming because someone put all the gorillas through a meat grinder. Back at the base, a young lady was deeply feeling the absence of K, our famous hero who finds monsters and turns them into mashed potatoes. A man was telling the rookies not to be afraid. Because for these green amateurs, this place was quite literally a living hell. Even with K by his side, level 38 Lei knew very well that this place reeked of death. They were desperately longing for K, for the only surviving gorilla. 3 whole days had passed, but all they had were those boring gorillas that were so easy to cut. Even if Huang Wei thought they wasted their talents on K, it was a twist of fate, and they had nothing else left to do now, my friends. The others turned in shock to their friend, who was describing how a single person took down 3 gorillas at once. The arrogant guy mocked them, saying this would be considered a miracle for low-level losers. The young man went silent, but that arrogant guy was walking around showing Kane's photo and asking questions. Eyewitnesses confirmed that this is exactly the monster who took out those 3 gorillas all by himself. A level 5 rookie? He tossed his fruit and immediately denied this lie. Because they didn't believe him, they were going to teach him a lesson, and as luck would have it, they ran into him right at the exit. The arrogant guy, having finally found his prey, gleefully began the execution. The beach fan base could only look at those poor victims at the exit of the valley with pitying eyes now. The crowd was weeping because the gorillas were being turned to ashes in a fire. They thought a single person couldn't do it, but Kay had already reached level 10. After taking down all the gorillas, he managed to grab 19 elite chests from a distance. Someone shouted from behind and stopped him. When Kay returned, he found a bunch of fools dying to meet him. Seeing the falcon team of the Millet Huang family, Kain wondered what sin he had committed. Kay looked at them and asked if they really came from the Huang family. The swords were already drawn. Disrespecting training was punishable by death, and they were all there to bury Kei. Even if he claimed self-defense, these greedy dogs had absolutely no intention of stopping, unfortunately. Money was their only concern, so Kay threw mercy away. Now his daggers began to glide swiftly toward those fools. When their bodies got slightly burned, they made the mistake of mocking this minor damage. Viewers unfortunately never thought this simple fire could win the war. With cold blood, he piqued their curiosity and asked what would happen when the true pain of fire began. The first one is already losing 2000 HP per second and turning into a statue of flames. His body faded into invisibility, as his teammates watched in terror. The poor man couldn't understand why this ordinary fire was draining his life so fast. When the other 2 met the flames, they rushed straight to hell to join their leader. Those remaining in the group, now a human furnace, were trembling with utter despair. The insatiable flames have completely swallowed their bodies now. When the system announced that Team Beach was wiped out and their XP deleted, everyone was speechless. Since they were so eager, Kay would gladly accept this gift of experience. No one could believe a single person could take out a level 20 elite team like that. They wondered about the dangerous man's identity but couldn't make out his features. Who knows, maybe it was a powerful mage hiding their status, my friend. Glancing at the status window, Kay noticed he had leveled up twice. After that little scuffle, he finally decided to ask the guide why his abilities were preserved. Because of his talent, his rivals could never truly read his strength. With this privacy, he knew he wouldn't be an easy target anymore. He went to the shop to sell his stuff, but the clerk didn't really mind him. Kay said he had a few items and asked exactly how much they would be worth. He thought she was worthless looking at her unkempt appearance, but his eyes nearly popped out at what he saw. Faced with stacks of gorilla cards, elites, and more, the king of primates has literally set up camp here. He displayed exactly 19 elite chests stolen from the Valley of Kings right before the woman's astonished eyes. He's wondering about the fortune your possessions are worth. The shopkeeper, who usually buys items one by one, froze in shock before this wholesaler. The guy across from him literally looks like a black marketer. The woman shakes her head to snap out of it and rushes forward excitedly. As the best in the business, he started calculating everything down to the last penny. Ours was watching this dramatic moment. Numbers are flying through the air. Cards are 10,000. And those glowing treasure chests are worth a total of 170,000 gold. He has exactly 180,000 gold worth of goods. In the real world, that's exactly 1.8 million. With this money to save his brother's life, he won a victory like a slap in the face to that arrogant army commander. He doesn't have to join that damn army anymore. As I was walking, a fortune teller appeared and started spouting free prophecies. Out of breath, the woman was practically scrambling to prove how right the Valley of the King's advice had turned out to be. The valley has borne its fruit. Now, this cunning fortune teller was trying to squeeze out a small, innocent favor in exchange for Kay. Kay listens to him as if he actually cares. Kuya's only concern was getting into the same team as ours. While dreaming of fighting side by side in the future, Kay turned his back and said goodbye, leaving the girl to die on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Saying the military decides what's junk, Kay, who loves free stuff, changed the subject by offering her latest gear. And ours just totally humiliated her, heartlessly asking if she's drowning in misery just like him. The poor guy lost hope in making money. Turns out nobody wants a useless member who can only tell fortunes on their team. Order became a fortune teller because he thought there was money in it, but a victim of the system, he was condemned to rot in a corner. After changing professions, he got stuck in the dark corridors of the game. It can't go forward or backward. A total system error. Once the military turned away, everyone else shunned him. Now this poor girl is busy killing time, wandering aimlessly through the streets. Even if he returns to Earth, all that awaits him is a miserable life of slaving away for minimum wage. Kay sees the gravity of it. Her brother's terrible health was ruined by this exact, ruthless work routine. He knows a fragile girl can't carry this burden, but her siblings she must care for are the only thing keeping her going. This scene reminded me of his brother Kaya. The names might differ, but the scent of that dark suffering was always the same. And his older brother saw this game as a way out. He sacrificed his own youth in these dungeons so his siblings wouldn't go hungry. He chose to endure hard labor just so they wouldn't be left alone. Just then, the girl tried to say her last goodbye and leave. The poor girl sadly whispered that this time she truly gave up and would never return to this cursed game again. Just as he was about to leave, Kay told him to wait a bit longer. He was leaving now, but he would surely return one day. When he promised to recruit her if they met again, the fortune teller couldn't believe her ears and froze on the spot. He was practically in shock. He started to tremble with joy at what he heard. Kay swore a sacred oath that she never ever lied. If he goes back on his word, he shouldn't earn another cent. The girl burst out laughing at this money-worshipping guy's weird comparison. Kaya hugged her so hard out of excitement that he had to push her away and dodge everyone's stares to avoid being embarrassed. The moment he stepped inside, he gave the great news. Now his sister didn't have to waste her life working those dirty jobs anymore. The people at home can't believe what they're hearing. But his brother immediately began to question if such a huge amount of money was earned honestly. Once he explained he won the money in the game, his dreams for school and surgery finally emerged from the shadows and began turning into reality. While his brother wondered how he wasn't crushed under such a burden, that old, harsh look appeared in Kane's eyes. Compared to raising two orphans, these struggles were nothing. Now it was Kane's turn to take the lead and save the family. Now Kay was the new lion of this house. They raised the first glass of their new lives in that peaceful but somber atmosphere. Just as I found some peace, my phone started buzzing like crazy. It was that annoying commander calling, finally admitting he lost the bet. Kay was free now, but the commander wouldn't leave him alone and called him over to show him the destruction outside the safe zone. The streets of his childhood were now a dark cemetery, filled with ruined buildings like piles of corpses. When he faced the commander, he asked why he was brought here, but the atmosphere felt ready to explode at any moment. Instead of an answer, a deafening noise erupted, and with ground-shaking explosions, the horizon suddenly turned into a hellish heat. A hideous creature as tall as a building appeared beside them, while a group of lunatics danced a deathly dance with this monster. 3 fearless knights attacked as if seeking their own deaths, just to take down that god-tier beast appearing every 20 levels. There's a massive gap between the players, folks. There are 6 different leagues, and until level 80, powers remain trapped only in the digital world. While others struggle with creatures, the rules change for the real monsters, the superiors. Levels 81 to 120 are a whole different dimension. The actor is literally creating an evolutionary leap. It's starting to leak into the real world. With zero hesitation in their eyes, these types spread fear by becoming literal living demolition machines. Struggling? They don't even go near it. Because that raw power is the only way to take them down. As Kai watches this terrifying show, he silently sizes up his opponent's true capacity. But the commander has some discouraging news. This was just an ordinary monster, yet it took 2 elite warriors to bring it down. This painful statistic makes Kai's skin crawl. Humanity is literally dancing on the edge of a cliff. But ours hasn't fully realized the gravity of the situation yet. He's happy in the safe zone, and the commander isn't forcing him to join the army. While lightning strikes the sky, the world descends in fury. The skies of the deserted city are practically tearing apart. The commander even laid down the law, telling the Huyan family to stay away from this kid and taking him under his protection. Though Kai grins, surprised by this strange attention, the commander has only one source of support. And those sharp instincts of his, believing in the youth's potential to the fullest. Our hero sinks into deep thought after what he heard. The commander seems as sure as his own name that this youth will become an unstoppable legend. Kai just wants to protect his family. An army means a front line, meaning a bloody life and death struggle miles away from your loved ones. But if the nation's future is at stake, someone must shoulder that heavy burden and face the darkness. It seems like an inevitable fate. Maybe his turn will come soon, but if he dies for Shenia or that talented youth, he will do so with a willing heart. Not a shred of doubt in your heart. He never forces his son to join the army, but he hopes Kai will help when the city calls for aid. It's blasphemy for him to fight for Shenia. After a few days of rest on Earth, our boy heads right back to the dangerously cold star planet to return to duty. The commander giving him such a huge mission and having high expectations was truly a total surprise for Kai. It's time to shift gears. Now that gorillas are nothing but a snack, Kai begins searching for far more troublesome and formidable creatures to face. What he encountered was a banshee straight out of a nightmare. It's a lurking wraith that takes your soul in one stroke, terrifies its victims, and kills with its scream. If you're more than 10 meters away, your attacks won't do a thing. But once you enter its deadly range, you're staring your executioner in the eye. This situation leaves our explorer in deep thought. It's not like slapping gorillas. He must urgently form a solid, cohesive team to face this monster. Our fortune-teller girl is taking a nap in the middle of the street. A note on the sign says he's waiting for his captain and strictly does not want to be disturbed. Kai nudges him awake and asks how long he's been waiting. The girl is over the moon when she sees him. She cheers up when the captain she's been waiting for returns. She already knew he'd come back, and Kai shows off his charisma by stating he always keeps his word. The fortune-teller drops the good news and says you've found someone new. He found an incredibly useful companion for the team. His only hope is that the guy doesn't turn out to be a drunk. But you know, bad luck is always Kai's faithful shadow. And here's Ruin, the man's a total booze hound. When Kai sees Ayasha's miserable state, he naturally tries to flee from the group without even looking back. As our hero runs for his life, the fortune-teller painfully realizes once again how pragmatic and opportunistic her captain really is. The poor girl is going to great lengths to defend Ray. The guy's hardworking, loyal to his job, and so on. Ruin just stands there looking embarrassed. He'll cook, he'll give massages, anything just to stay on the team. And to top it off, he drops the ultimate big win bombshell that Kai simply can't refuse. He doesn't want even a single cent of the loot. The moment Kai hears the word free, his radar pings, and he instantly jumps at the offer with his hand raised. He grabs Ruin's hands and expresses with fake enthusiasm how talented he is and how he can't wait to work together. Destination, Banshee Hunt. When Ruin asks in surprise if the captain is always this wild, the fortune-teller replies that unfortunately, that's just his nature. When they reach the Valley of Kings, the atmosphere gets much heavier. This is the elite Banshee's domain. The cold breath of death lingers around every corner. A dark door creaks open, and that level 20 Banshee appears. A terrifying wraith lurking in ambush to pick off distant players. As the team watches the monster in secret, Kai whispers, "He's tough. One slip up and we're done, so we must be very careful and quiet." They have no chance of hitting unless they get close, so they must wait silently for the right moment. A truly breathtaking stealth operation is underway. Hearing a sudden noise, Kai tells Huya to shut up, but things get weird because the poor girl hasn't said a word. When Kai asks for silence again, the girl gets angry and says she hasn't said a word. Kai turns around with great suspicion, searching for the actual source of the noise. Turns out our drunkard was the noise source. He's lying there all spread out, snoring so loud it shakes the earth and ruins everything. With him shouting a toast to the captain in his dream, Banshee's radars pick them up. "Well done, Ruin, you broke stealth perfectly, you're truly amazing." As the beast rapidly descends upon them, it unleashes its legendary, soul-shredding death scream with a fury that echoes across the entire valley. Kai panic-charged the hyenas, and the drunk didn't just fail to help, he caused more trouble. Now that deadly scream tears through the air with all its fury. They've entered the range already. Kai and the fortune-teller girl are stunned by the shockwave, their brains turn to mush, and their bodies completely lock up. This deadly struggle with Banshee started with a total disaster. Let's see if the team can recover before the beast strikes a second time. Even that useless, passed-out drunk is getting a piece of this now. Suddenly, a state of terror gripped them all. They're paralyzed, they have no idea what to do. With nothing left to do, that Banshee glides toward them with dangerous steps. Our drunk friend is still mumbling away in a world of pink dreams. Unable to understand how such beauty appeared before him, he lunges fiercely at the beast. It flies over it with such great force that it looks like a total attack from the outside. He rambles on about fate bringing them together and vows to protect her, declaring he'll be the one looking after her now. Stroking the beast's face with her hands, she comments on how soft and radiant its skin is. At that moment, the fear status on them suddenly disperses, and Kai wonders if Ruin is controlling the creature right now. He knows the monster's attack is on cooldown, so it's time to take this chance right now. This way, they'll be able to finish off the creature for good. He can never afford to miss this rare chance. Ruin unexpectedly locks the monster completely in place. This way, the creature becomes unable to escape Kai's attack. And now, Ayash is getting ready to shower her with kisses. They will officially be husband and wife after this. Just before the worst can happen to the beast, the creature suddenly explodes. Thick smoke is rising into the sky from the center of the explosion. Ruin wakes up from the illusion and wonders where his beautiful, beloved wife has vanished. As for Kai, he's quite happy with this outcome. The fortune-teller is thrilled that the captain can take down an elite monster in seconds. But among all this cheerful crowd, there is one with a broken heart. Ruin is not at all pleased that his fresh new bride just blew up right in front of him. She was the love of his life, and now he thinks he'll never love anyone again. When Kai asks if it's always like this, the fortune-teller explains the situation. He's a total alcoholic and he needs to drink. And even back then, her taste was absolutely terrible. The fortune-teller immediately goes to pick up the card the monster dropped. Kai contemplates the moon's deep influence on those over that age within Banson's range. Even in this situation, he wasn't affected at all and even struck back at the monster. This was definitely not what Kai had expected. The worst part about drunks is that they completely lose all control in that state. But this flaw seems to ignore the Banshee attack entirely. If that's really the case, he needs to take full advantage of this huge opportunity. While he's thinking about these, the fortune-teller returns with the treasure chest in hand. A month-old wet log is actually the ideal natural relic for fighting these types of creatures. Kane's devious smile creeps the fortune-teller out. He wonders what made it this way. Deep in the forest, they come across another area where banshees live. Another monster lets out a terrifying scream, but Kai now knows how to fight these creatures. Just like a Pokemon master, he unleashes his own Moon Age right into the heat of battle. Banshee's yelling for nothing because our drunk guy isn't affected by those screams at all. To her, this creature is a lover thirsting for her plump and cute body. She says she wants him as much as the monster does and can't wait to marry him. With the beast unable to use its special ability, this is the best chance to strike. The daggers carve a lethal arc through the air, gliding toward the target. Oh, once again the moon fails to kiss its great love. A massive explosion happens right in front of you. The system reports that Kane has destroyed another enemy, another banshee. Ruin, slightly injured, just can't understand where his love has gone. In a great rage, he curses his comrades for blowing up his wife once again. In the end, he crashes headfirst into the ground. But the other two are eager to reach the next banshee before Ruin wakes up. After 3 hours there, Ruin lost exactly 11 of his wives. Time was flying by, and he had already lost 23 of his spouses. As time passed, Moon Age was losing more and more territory due to the explosions. Thanks to Ruin, they managed to stack a lot of items from the chests. They managed to collect 35 treasure chests in total. With all this experience, Kai leveled up twice and is now level 14. The only real cost was Rei's emotional breakdown. She says her comrades are two merciless monsters. But that's not all. They manage to collect 2 talent cards. The first card can summon a heavy downpour if the user's mental power is high enough. If the terrain allows, powerful users can even create entire lakes this way. Johan has already reached level 29, and since his mind power is so high, he decides to give the card to him. This makes his daughter very happy. This is her second talent besides fortune telling, and now she no longer feels like a completely useless burden. Bowing respectfully before him, he says he will remain his brother forever. Kai says he really deserves the card. Slightly annoyed by this gesture, Kai gives the girl a light smack on the head. The other talent is designed for a secret profession. It will reveal a mysterious ability that can only be used once and then vanishes. If that's the case, she wants to use this card right now. If only a secret class can use this card, he should try it anyway. Now he can use the Sidecutter Casino talent. Any player who looks at her for half an hour will lose 1000 attribute points, which will then be transferred to K. When the time is up, the attributes will return to their original owner. When Kai asks if that's all, the system confirms. He can't believe something this good can only steal 1000 attribute points from someone. From what he understands of the mechanics, this isn't going to be very useful. And Ruin finally wakes up from that drunken stupor. He doesn't know why he has such a terrible headache. The fortune teller asks if he remembers losing 35 wives in his memory last night. As blurry memories suddenly rushed into a woman's brain, all the dark secrets of the past came to light one by one. Hit hard by guilt, Ruin began to vomit through tears, miserably apologizing to the captain for only being a burden. Just as he accepted being fired, Kai handed him new clothes and honestly admitted that our loser Ruin was actually the real hero yesterday. This equipment was hers now, because without her, Kai would have been torn apart by those screaming banshees long ago. Ruin, now an essential part of the team, refused this precious gift as usual, claiming that just being accepted among them was enough. Claiming he'd never be harsh with friends, Kai got carried away and didn't miss the chance to give our fortune teller a mysterious gift too. Faced with this unexpected move, Kai suddenly turned into a prince straight out of one of those sappy romance novels in her eyes. While the girl gazed at him in admiration, Ruin, whose mind was blown by the captain's incredible kindness, began to worship him with gratitude as well. They bowed, swearing to remain loyal forever, but Kai asked them to stop with the dramatic gestures, and video ends. Turn on notifications now so you don't miss the next episode, and see you next time on the Tab channel.